today we're going to make a snow globe. It's that season where it's going to start snowing soon, and I'm sure you've seen a snow globe before that's filled with water and little snowflakes that has something inside of it that you can move back and forth and watch the snow flutter from the top to the bottom. So we're going to make something like that today. So for this project, you're going to need a piece of white paper. You will need some crayons. I am going to use a black marker, one that is not washable. You could just use a black crayon though. And then I am going to use some watercolors. If you don't have watercolors at home, remember you can use the trick with the marker and the water. And if you need to remember how to make watercolors out of markers, you can go back to the slides and check out the video to remember. Otherwise, if you don't have those things, you can just use a crayon or a marker. And when we get to that step, I'll tell you about that. The other last thing I'm going to grab is some sort of lid or plate or bowl, something circular that is about just a little bit smaller than your paper, but a nice big size that's going to use up the space. So nothing too small, but you don't want it going off of your paper. So like this one right here is a pretty good size. So look around your house and find something. Remember, at any time, if you're following along with this video, you can just press pause if you need to catch up. So what I'm going to start is to take my lid, and I'm going to find the middle of my paper right here, and I am going to take my marker and trace around it. Remember, you could use your black crayon if you're using crayon. The reason that I can't use a washable marker that's black is because I am going to be using watercolors, and I don't want my black marker to run into my watercolors. Okay, got my circle shape. This is going to be the shape of our snow globe. And then the snow globe needs a base. So I am going to, from the bottom of my circle, I am going to draw two little vertical lines down like that. And then a horizontal line. And then I'm going to put another rectangle underneath that. So from there, I'm going to make a vertical line out, another vertical line out, just a little bit. Then, oh, I'm sorry, those are horizontal lines, not vertical lines. Ugh. You need to, I hope you were yelling at me on the screen. That's horizontal, Mrs. Anderson, not vertical. Okay, now these are vertical lines that go up and down. Bring one of each of those down on each side, and then a horizontal line across to meet them. Now I got it right. And there's our base. Okay? All right, now let's make a little scene inside of our snow globe. I'm going to make a snowman. If you have a different idea of something else you want to make inside of your snow globe, something wintry, then go for it. Maybe a wintry house or wintry trees or an animal of some kind, or if you really want to do something holiday, you can do that. So I'm going to do a snowman, but again, if you have a different idea, then you can make something else inside of your snow globe. But whatever you make something that's sort of a good size in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to do a snowman. My snowman is going to have 3 bumps. So I'm going to start with kind of a curved line like that, almost a full circle, but not I didn't close it up at the bottom. Then another bump like that. And then a third bump, and I'm getting bigger and bigger, but this third bump I'm going to close up at the bottom. Then I'm going to make a horizon line, so that, remember we've been talking about horizon lines. So my horizon line is going to be snowy, so it's going to not be straight. It's going to be sort of wavy. And then I'm going to add the details on my snowman. So I'm going to give you can do whatever you want to add the details on. So I'm going to add a hat. So I'm going to do a little curved line here and 2 diagonal lines there, a horizontal line, 2 vertical lines, and another horizontal line to make a hat, another line there. I'm gonna color mine in. Like so. I love snow globes. Do any of you have a snow globe at home? Maybe of us. I actually have a snowman snow globe at home. And I like it so much I keep it up all year round. I don't even take it down when it's not winter. All right, of course our snowman's gonna need some eyes. And I'm gonna give it a classic carrot nose, so a triangle on the side. And some little dots for a smile. And I'm gonna do a scarf. So I'm gonna make a straight line here, and then a diagonal line there, and then two little skinny triangles coming off the end, and some little lines for some tassels. Okay, and I need some buttons. And of course, some stick arms, like so. Okay, then I'm going to add some wood grain to my base. So we'll pretend that our snow globe is on like a wooden base. And second graders, way back in the fall, if you can remember, we made some trees with wood grain. So that's kind of adding texture. So I'm gonna add some like lines, some curvy lines, some like they're almost like spirals, like this, to show, like, and then maybe some wavy lines to show some wood grain there. Like that. Maybe this part is just like metal, so I'll color that a different color. All right, there's my wood grain. All right, now I'm going to get my crayons and color in. I'm not gonna color the background of my snow globe, and I'm gonna leave my snowman white and the snow white, although you could color it in white, but I'm gonna color everything else. I'm gonna do that right now. Finished my coloring. So I did everything except the snow. So the snowman and the snow I left white, and then I didn't do my background because I'm gonna work on my background next. So that's gonna be like the snowy snow globe part. So I'm gonna use watercolor for my background. Again, you can use watercolors if you have them. If you don't, you can grab a blue marker and the plastic and just add some water to it and make your own watercolors with blue marker. Or if you don't have a paintbrush and you don't want to do that, then just use blue marker or blue crayon for the background. Now I'm going to be adding an extra cool step to this to make it look like snow is coming in the background. So I am also going to grab some salt. So I'm gonna grab my salt shaker. Okay, so if you want to do this extra step, you can grab a little bit of salt. You don't hardly need any at all. Before I start though, I think I'm gonna grab my white crayon and I'm just gonna make some dots in the background. Even if you're using crayon or marker, I would suggest adding a little bit of white dots to it because this is a snow globe and we want it to look like it's snowing, so it needs some snow. Okay, so we can't see it yet because it's not showing up because it's white on white, so we'll start to see it once I add my watercolors. So remember, get your paintbrush a little bit wet, and the more water you use, the more the paint is going to spread. So if you're in little areas, like once I have to get inside there, I might want to use a little bit less water so it doesn't spread. However, if there's crayon anywhere, it shouldn't go onto the crayon because It's a waxed resist. Remember, the crayon resists the paint, and so it won't go on it. But all these white spots that I have where the snow is, I didn't put any crayon there. That would turn blue, and then I would have blue. I would have blue snow. All right, I'm gonna keep working on filling my background with my blue paint. Okay, I'm done painting the background, and now I'm gonna add my extra step if you want to do that. Now, you kind of have to work fast because you need your background to be wet still. So if it isn't wet still, you might want to add just like a little bit more water, a little extra coat of paint so that you still have some wet paint in the background. And then you're going to take your salt shaker. I like to shake a little bit in my hand so that I control it better. And then I take my fingers and I pinch it and I just sprinkle it right onto the background to that wet paint. And then you kind of have to let it sit for a second, because what's happening is, this is a little bit of science here, is that the salt is soaking up the extra water and paint from the watercolors, and it's going to leave a little bit of a absence, which means there's not going to be paint in that area. It's going to kind of soak it up and take it away. So you kind of have to put it off to the side. So I'm gonna let that one dry and leave the salt on it. And here's one that I did earlier. Can you see how the salt, look, isn't that so cool? They look like little snowflakes. And that's all after it dried. So once it's all dry, you kind of have to take it and just kind of shake it off, because there'll be some extra salt on there. But then that's it all finished. Isn't that look cool? So if you're able to grab a little bit of salt and add that extra cool background, you can try that. And then post it to Seesaw when you're done. Don't forget to do your art self-assessment to make sure you did everything on your picture. But I cannot wait to see your snow globe and see if you are going to have a snowman, or maybe you'll have something else inside your snow globe. All right, have fun. Hi there. I just wanted to give a little update on your art project. So for those of you who use some salt on your watercolors to get that effect, I just wanted to update and say that it might depend on what type of paper you used, how well that technique works. I did it on one type of paper and it worked really well that first time. And then I did it on a second piece of paper that was different paper, and you can kind of see it, but it didn't turn out quite as bold as that one did. So don't be discouraged if you try it and it doesn't turn out, as great as you want it to. If it doesn't, it might just be because your paper soaked up the watercolors a little bit quicker and wasn't able to leave that for the salt to do. So, but it's fun to experiment and see what happens when you do it anyway. So if you try that out, I just wanted to say that. All right, well, good luck. Bye.